is yours, sir.
Thanks, Todd. Good morning, everybody. I'm Yashar Franklin Hodge, the chair of the Public Improvement Commission, and I will call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of June 13th, 2024. Mr. Lyman, would you please take the roll call?
Certainly. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state their name for the record?
Yashar Franklin Hodge.
Transportation Department?
Amy Cording.
Water and Sewer Commission?
Denise Devlin.
Commission for Persons with Disabilities?
Sarah Leon.
We do not have a representative from ISD or Property Management, but we do have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Our first item today is hearing minutes. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held on May 23rd, 2024. Do we hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the PIC hearing of May 23rd, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to our first and only public hearing for this meeting. Public hearing number 1 on a petition by Cambridge Network Solutions for the rental of city shadow to install new telecommunication fiber in existing conduit within the following public ways in Brighton. Western Ave between Everett Street and Telford Street, Everett Street south of Western Ave. This was new business on May 23rd, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Proposed Conduit Lease Plan, Western Ave from Telford Street to Everett Street, Brighton, 1 sheet, dated, sorry, the screen share just took my agenda away. 1 sheet dated May 3rd, 2024. Would the proponents please introduce themselves and give us a brief reintroduction to this project, and then we'll open it up to the commission for comments.
Good morning, Herb Bertoni from LightPath, Cambridge Network Solutions, also known as. We are looking to lease approximately 603 feet of city shadow conduit along Western Ave in Brighton from right around Telford Street, all the way down to Everett Street, pole 28. And that's what we're looking to.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
I'll take this opportunity to remind the public, if you wish to ask questions or add testimony, please use the raised hand function at the bottom of your screen. I don't see any at this time. Herb, would you just remind us what's happening at the two ends? You're leasing private conduit, is that correct?
Yes, this will be a third-party agreement with Comcast.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, seeing no raised hands or questions, I'll just use this moment to say thank you for not digging up our streets and using what's there already. We very much appreciate that. And with that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Cambridge Network Solutions for the rental of city shadow in Western Ave and Everett Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. All right, on to the new business section of our agenda, starting with new business 1, North Beacon Street, Vineland Street, Brighton, specific repairs on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an overview of what is being proposed?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is John Monticelli with the Public Works Department, Streets Cabinet overall. This is a joint petition brought by the Transportation and Public Works departments for the improvement of several ramps at North Beacon and Vineland. Currently, we have a pair of non-compliant ramps, and we are going to be introducing a separated bike project on North Beacon Street. So making efforts to improve the compliance of the ramps and afford pedestrians additional opportunities to walk between the bus stops that are proximate near the Faneuil Gardens development. Joined here by our consultants, Fuss and O'Neill. John Descavich is here, and I see Tyler DeRuiter is also here. One of you, John, I think has control. You want to put up that plan?
Yes.
Cool.
Hi, everyone. I am John Discavich. I work for Fuss and O'Neill, who was consulted by the Boston Transportation Department, and I am going to put on my screen the plans for So this is the intersection of North Beacon Street at Vineland Street for our new pedestrian curb ramps, which we are proposing. We are proposing to bring out the curb line in order to construct a compliant ramp within the city of Boston right-of-way. So on our plans here, we have the red line, which shows the city right-of-way lines, and the blue lines have our proposed curb line. So as you can see, currently the city right-of-way goes right in between the existing sidewalk, and so it has been vetted between us and the Public Works Department that in order to construct a compliant ramp that we needed to bring out our curb line on Vineland Street on the top part of our screen here.
All right, commissioners, any questions? Hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
All right. Will you guys be ready for your public hearing in, Todd, are we 2 weeks?
Yes, June 27th.
Will you be ready for your public hearing on June 27th?
We will, Chief, yes.
All right, thank you so much. See you then. On to new business number 2, Winship Street, Peaceable Street, Brighton, specific repairs on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department. The proponents please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations and walk us through what you're proposing here.
Good morning once again. John Monticelli with the Streets Cabinet Public Works Transportation co-petition for specific repairs here on Winship Street as the left or right corridor, and Peaceable is a local street coming down in the Brighton Center neighborhood. As part of another bike project that we're doing, additionally to improve crossability of Winship Street, coordination with ONS and the neighborhood, this crosswalk across Winship Street is a new opportunity, new crosswalk that we're introducing for the neighborhood. And then the ramps across Peaceable were the specific repair item deliberately. So back to John Discavich and Tyler to talk about those ramps specifically.
Hi, once again, everybody, I'm John Discavich on behalf of Fuss and O'Neill. So for the ramps at Winship Street, at Peaceable Street, and it has been vetted with the Public Works Department and the Boston Transportation Department that in order to construct a compliant ramp inside city right-of-way that we had to extend our curb line out into this Peaceable Street. And the current curb line has existing pinch points that are currently not ADA compliant, and so as part of this project, we are proposing this in order to bring everything into compliance.
And it looks like there's a new ramp being placed to allow for crossing of Winship. Okay, there's the reciprocal. Got it.
Correct. Sorry about that.
Commissioners, any questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, will you be ready for your public hearing on June 27th?
We certainly will, Chief.
All right, we will see you then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
On to Harrison Avenue, East Berkeley Street. New business 3, Harrison Avenue, East Berkeley Street, Traveler Street, William E. Mullins Way, Harold Street, Boston proper, specific repairs on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department. Would the proponents please introduce themselves and walk us through what is being proposed here?
Morning again, Commissioners. John Monticelli with the Streets Cabinet, Transportation and Public Works co-petitioning to bring Harrison Ave in the south end for partial roadway reconstruction. The limits extend between East Berkeley Street and East Berkeley and Herald. So it's about 3 internal blocks in the south end ink block area. The majority of the proposal is to remove the median from the middle of the road, relocate utilities, lighting, and assorted other pieces to the outsides. Reconstruct an entire block to expand pedestrian sidewalk passage area, introduce pedestrian protection islands, and floating parking cycle tracks on both sides. 2 of the intersections will have completely new signals, traffic signals, and compliant pedestrian crossings installed, variety of mast arms and equipment and such. So we've been in coordination with the signals division for those requirements as well. I'm joined here by our VHB team. I saw Wayne and Elisa. Got you both? Okay, cool. Hand it over to you guys to kind of run us through some of the details.
Great, thank you, John. Wayne Amico from VHB. I'm the project manager for the project. I've got with me Elisa Arriaga and Joanna Stoll from VHB. John did a great job describing things. In essence, I'll give you kind of the cliff notes. Basically, this project is a curb-to-curb reconstruction, removing the island, as John noted, and doing some isolated wheelchair ramp replacements to make the entire corridor compliant. Some isolated islands, pedestrian enhancements, bike enhancements, etc. So let me turn this over to Elisa, and she can walk you through any specifics that neither John or I did. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Wayne. Hi, everyone. I'm Elisa Arriaga. I'm with VHB as well. Some of the main points here are like Harrison Avenue. So like we're widening this sidewalk over here on the north side, and this is becoming more ADA accessible. We're increasing the path of travel over here to 11 feet. We're also adding a few trees and some permeable pavers, and we're reconstructing ADA compliant ramps on this corner. On the next street, next section, same, we're adding permeable pavers, reconstructing the sidewalk, widening the sidewalk on the north side, adding some ADA compliant ramps. Existing ramps have been field verified and they are ADA compliant. We are also proposing a few light poles, which have been coordinated with street lighting department. So the project will only be installing the base, and the lighting department will install the fixtures.
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is an overall effort as well to unify the fixture types. Harrison Ave, in just these 3 blocks, I think has 6 or 5 different types of light devices or infrastructure. So it's also an effort to kind of unify these areas.
Yes, that is correct. So yeah, overall on Mullins and Harrison Avenue, we're also making these ramps ADA compliant, making this ADA compliant, keeping what's existing. And then this is the last section, which would be Harrison and Harold Street, which we will be doing the same kind of sidewalk reconstruction and reconstruct the ADA compliant ramps.
A few more notes. This will tie into the Vision Zero work led by Charlotte for the Harrison Ave connection through Chinatown. So those projects are currently on the dockets. So this ties in. We've been coordinating with them, Charlotte directly. And also some of the things that are not called out because we were still working through the details. Some of these newer corner and protection islands that are piano or pork chop shaped, and then the wedges in the corners, we are trying to depave those with Kate's OGI team. So they will, in the best of our attempts, have some depaved non-hardscapes to that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's great to see this, and especially I know this area has some challenges related to the traffic backing up, accessing the supermarket here, and the introduction of these islands seems like a very good way to help mitigate safety impacts of that on pedestrians and cyclists. So really appreciate the detail that we've been adding for that. Question regarding, so 2 quick questions. One, are are there changes to the lane capacity of sections of the roadway here? And can you just walk through what those are? Second question, I believe that there's at least one JCDecaux advertising structure in the median here today, and have we coordinated with them? There's also, I believe, at least one small cell antenna structure. So can you just talk about our coordination with folks that are currently occupying the median?
Yeah, quick. So, reverse order. The telecom folks, we've identified the owners of those. We've given them a heads up that they'll need to come out of the medians, and we've begun to have conversations with our public works liaising on where they can be located that will be conducive to the design. The JCDecaux, our transit team, knows about this. Again, we gave them the heads up. We wanted to get through a milestone here for PIC and then kind of initiate the relocation. I know that they're a little reticent sometimes. So getting our confirmations on our internals and then getting that out of the way. Traffic capacity. So actually we're adding potential for capacity on this road because the median is taking up a space in the middle of the road. And for the most part, we are replacing it with either a gourd area where people can continue to do loading or a type of pickup drop-off area for commercial spaces, or a turn lane at various intersections. So actually moving folks out of the way of other things so that we can mitigate either turning conflicts, or we can store those folks who you're saying is the surge volumes going to Whole Foods. So introducing those kind of pocket areas, but.
Excellent, thank you. Commissioners?
If I miss anything, Wayne, sorry.
No, you did a great job, John. One other thing on the cell infrastructure, we've actually had a couple of meetings with those folks, and I think there's 3, Joanna, you can remind me if I'm wrong, but I think there was 3 of them
That's
that
correct.
are proposed to be relocated, one at the corner of East Berkeley, and then 2 on Harrison. And we've coordinated with both Verizon and Crown, and they have had an understanding with street lighting on where things are going to be relocated. So I think the process is underway.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, and to add
Commissioners,
to Wayne's, oh, sorry, no.
go right ahead, Alyssa.
Yeah, so those cell light poles are highlighted in our plans, and we call out who the provider is. Just for
Excellent.
reference.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, other questions? All right, I have one more. I have received quite a bit of feedback from residents in the neighborhood about the pavement condition along East Berkeley Street, and in particular the East Berkeley-Harrison intersection, which has been subject to quite a bit of utility abuse. Will this project repave that intersection in its entirety, or what are the extents of the paving associated with it?
The current assumption is that we'll repave the full intersection in order to do the ramps as well and kind of meet those local grades where needed, and then some extension up the side streets, usually 50 to 75 feet, depending on the conditions. But we can talk to Public Works if there's an ability to extend a little bit more, right?
Yeah. That would be great. If there's an opportunity, without having looked at whether these streets and when these streets will be cleared from a utilities perspective, but I think East Berkeley is likely to be a very high candidate for full repaving as soon as we're able to do so. And so it would be great if you can coordinate with the folks doing the paving program to see if there's an opportunity to maybe couple this work with the other paving work, or at least make sure we're working in coordination on that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. All right. PIC staff, members of the public.
All set on this?
All right, going once. All right, will you be ready for your public hearing on June 27th?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I know there's a lot of folks in this neighborhood that have been waiting a very long time for this project. So really excited to see it getting through the PIC or into the PIC process, and looking forward to it being constructed. So thank you very much for the work.
Fantastic. For all 3 items, thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks,
Thank
John. All right, on to new business number 4, Brookline Avenue, Newbury Street, Boston proper, granted location on a petition by TC Systems Incorporated. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through what you're proposing to do?
morning. My name is Erica Hudson from Sienna Engineering Group, representing TC Systems. TC Systems is seeking grant of location on Brookline Ave and Newbury Street with no participants. The proposed conduit installation will start at the Verizon manhole on Brookline Ave, and the conduit will continue onto Newbury Street, where it will end at the existing Comcast manhole. This will also include 2 4-inch scheduled 40 PVC conduits, 1 quad duct, and this will be a total of 250 feet.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions? So I have 2 things. So one is, what is the anticipated timing of construction on this, and how does this, and is there coordination happening with Fenway Park and the Boston Red Sox for major events to ensure that they are not interfering with one another?
For the time frame, I don't have that at this moment. I can check in internally and confirm that and have that for you for the next meeting. In terms of the Fenway, we'll definitely make sure that we're not interfering with that schedule. Yeah, we'll work outside of that time frame. So.
Okay. Yeah, if you can connect with the folks at the Fenway Park Red Sox folks, just to let them know about this project and what your anticipated timing is. They do, in addition to baseball season, they do concerts and other special events, and so sometimes which are in the evenings, which might be the time to work. So if you can just connect with them and keep them informed of your plans, and just report back in your next meeting, our next meeting. The other thing I just wanted to flag, right, is you will be, it looks like trenching through a crosswalk across Newbury Street at Brookline Ave. As you can imagine, this is a very heavily used crosswalk, and so we want to make sure that you will fully restore this per city specifications, which requires a restriping of the entire disrupted crosswalk in original thermoplastic materials. Can you confirm that you'll be able to do that at the completion of this?
Yes, we will make sure to do that.
Excellent. All right, nothing else from me. PAC staff or members of the public?
I think we're okay on this one for now.
All right, excellent. Will you be ready for your public hearing on June 27th?
Yes.
Great, we will see you then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, on to new business number 5, 880 East Berkeley Street, Washington Street, Shaman Avenue, Boston proper, earth retention license on a petition by Drucker 80 EB LLC. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know what you are proposing to do.
Good morning, Commission. My name is Mike Loring. I'm with Beacon Capital Partners. I'm joined today by Barbara Boylan from the Drucker Company, Mike Atwood from Haley and Aldrich, and John Schmidt from Niche Companies. We're back in front of you today. We actually received our initial PIC approvals for the building itself back in May of 23. We went out to bid this project that summer. After obtaining all of our approvals, we received feedback from the construction team that in order to complete some of our foundation details, our SOE had to be modified around the perimeter of the building, which actually extended past the extents that we originally had approval for the building foundation itself. So that's the reason why we're back here today, just in case anybody remembered us being back in front of you a year ago. I will leave it to the experts. I'll turn it over to John Schmidt and Mike Atwood to explain in detail, the impacts from before.
Good morning, John Schmidt with Nick Engineering. Let me just go ahead here in the slideshow. So the site is located at the corner of Washington and East Berkeley Street. This is the existing conditions plan. The proposed temporary supportive excavation consists of a soldier pile and lagging around the perimeter of the site along Shaman Ave, East Berkeley Street, and Washington Street. The sheeting will extend approximately 10 to elevation -10, Boston City base. Finished grade out there varies between 14 and 15, so it's about a 25-foot depth of sheeting and lagging. When the building construction allows and prior to completion, the lagging and soldier piles will be removed to be at least 6 feet below the finished grade. So the sidewalk will still be available for future utilities and plantings and things of that nature. Here's another close-up look at this. Are there any questions?
Commissioners? PIC staff or members of the public?
I'll set here.
All right. Easy enough. Will you be ready for your public hearing on June 27th?
We will see you on the 27th.
All right. We'll see you then, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. On to new business 6, Weymouth Avenue, West Roxbury, abandonment, widening / relocation / extension on a set of petitions by Turtle Dreams LLC and the Weymouth Avenue abutters. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and talk us through this proposal?
Good morning. My name is James Downing from Howard Stein Hudson. I'm joined this morning by Roger Edwards from Turtle Dreams LLC, who is the applicant, and also by Maddie Blanchard from Howard Stein Hudson. We're here to present the abandonment plan and the highway widening and relocation and extension plan for Weymouth Ave in the West Roxbury neighborhood. We've prepared a couple of slides this morning to go over, after which we'd be happy to answer any questions the commission members and the public may have. So this first slide is kind of a locus map showing the limits of the project. Again, as mentioned, it's just an extension of the existing Weymouth Ave street. The outline here in red is pretty much the project showing the project limits. So next slide, please, May. So here's the actual abandonment plan. The applicant and the two abutters are seeking to discontinue the existing 40-foot private right-of-way for approximately 375 feet for a total area of approximately 15,200 square feet. Next slide, please, May. With the widening relocation plan, the applicant is seeking to construct or extend the existing public right-of-way of Weymouth Ave. Improvements within the public right-of-way would include new cement and concrete sidewalks, 10 new street trees, new municipal utilities and private, and also a fire truck turning hammerhead at the end of the street. It would also include the 7 new curb cuts, and this would allow for the development of 7 new single-family homes in the neighborhood. With that, happy to answer any questions the commission or public may have.
Commissioners? All right, PIC staff or members of the public?
I think we're all set on this.
All right, well, no hands or comments. Will you be ready for your public hearing on June 27th?
Yes, we will.
Excellent. All right, we'll see you back in a few weeks.
Great, thank you so much.
Thanks, James.
Bye.
All right, on to our final item, new business number 7, 10 Walnut Street, Boston proper, specific repairs, and a petition by 10 Walnut Condominium Association. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and talk us through what you would like to do?
Yes, good morning. My name is Timothy Burke. I'm the architect for the project. I have a business address of 142 Berkeley Street in Boston. And Michael Joyce is our civil engineer. He's also on the call. We received approval to replace some deteriorated bluestone slabs that are in front of the 10 Walnut Street property. It was approved by Beacon Hill Architectural Commission and the PIC last year. And what we've found is that we need to protect the bluestone from cars pulling up on it. So we're asking permission to install bollards. And I can share my screen if you'd like to see the drawings of that.
Yes, please do.
All right. Not sure where I don't see the share screen button that, okay, I've got it here, yes. right with you. Sorry for the delay. Here we go. Great. So here's the plan. This is the property at 10 Walnut Street. And these are the bluestone sidewalk slabs. We're replacing 4 of the 3 slabs that are there now. And then this shows the plan for the 3 bollards. There were similar bollards approved for a property on Joy Street not long ago. They're cast iron bollards, 42 inches high. And speaking with the Disability Commission, we've assured them we can provide a 5-foot clearance between the bollards and the face of the building. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioners, questions?
Hi there. Thank you so much for your presentation. I just had a question about the 3rd bollard that's closest to the post box. I think we do have a concern about the pinch point that exists there, and the fact that folks might have to weave between the post box and the bollard. So we were wondering if there's any flexibility on the spacing or even the detailing of the bollard or the number of bollards that need to exist on the sidewalk, but also could function towards the goals of this project.
Yes, our what we really need to stop is cars and mostly trucks that pull up. So they're coming from the left as you see this plan down Walnut Street. So if they have a chance to pull in, they will, and they'll destroy the bluestone that we're going to spend a lot of effort on replacing. So right now I have, it's approximately 6.5 feet clear there between the postal box and the bollard. I could look to shift it slightly towards the entry of the building, but the more I don't want to leave any space there for trucks to pull up. It's been a real problem.
If the mailbox were to move to the curb line, could you get rid of the 3rd bollard and use the mailbox as the thing preventing the cars from going up on the sidewalk?
That would be up to the post office, I guess, but I would don't know if they would want it so close to all the traffic because they do have to open the door and so
I would rotate it around so the door still faces the sidewalk, but yeah, I mean, I think we see them at the curb line all over the city. That way, right, you're not creating a jog that everybody needs to make and you get rid of a bollard.
Yeah, so like I said, it would be something we'd have to discuss with the post office. But I don't know what they would say. It could also be shifted up the sidewalk a little ways towards Mount Vernon Street. It does seem like it's better to have it tucked in next to the building rather than out in the middle of the sidewalk, or on the edge of the sidewalk. Right now, the bollards are framing the front door, in an architectural way. They look nice that way. This particular stretch of Walnut has a lot of weaving because there's several tree pits and other items further along the sidewalk.
Michael Joyce with Joyce Consulting Group. I'd just like to add that post box is kind of tucked into a little bit of a corner now with the facade of the neighboring building. So I'm not sure what the jog is, but I think it's about a foot and a half. So that facade extends into the sidewalk. So you'd almost be, I'm not entirely sure, but I think you may be creating a pinch point by bringing that post box to the curb, where if you keep it in that same location where the facade comes out and where the post box would be. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. But.
No, that's correct, yes.
So what dimension would be left if the post box were to move to the curb line?
I'd have to take some measurements to check. I can't say definitively right now.
I believe it's about 42 inches, yep. It has a concrete base on it. Yeah, you can see there the deterioration that we've experienced with the sidewalk. It's quite hazardous at the moment. This only started once the parking lane got switched to the other side on Walnut, and that's when this began.
So as next steps, does it make sense to reach out to the post office to see what the flexibility might be to bring it to the curb line?
Yes, I'd be happy to do that. You can see also in the photo just to the left what happens with the gas lamp and the areaway for the next building really does block the sidewalk.
I think this might, yeah.
I almost wonder too if we could explore the post office moving to the, I guess it would be the, what is that, the southwest corner of the intersection. There's a bit more, the sidewalks are wider if we kind of turn 180 degrees from where we're looking now. If there may be an alternative location on that side of the street that could eliminate pinch point altogether. It obviously doesn't serve the purpose of a post box as bollard, but it would likely improve overall accessibility in the area to have it located here instead of on the other side of the street. All right, so it sounds like there will be, the proponents will attempt to reach the post office and discuss options as it relates to the post box. And then what I would ask is that you, in the intervening time between now and your public hearing, connect with the Disabilities Commission and through the PIC as well to share what your findings are, what we think our options are, and then discuss what we think is the best reasonable outcome here based on the concerns you've heard and the potential ideas that people have put forth today.
Yes, we'll take care of that, yes.
All right, excellent. Before we conclude, Todd, PAC staff, public, I don't see any public comments. Anything else to add here?
No, I think Disabilities Commission coordination was, kind of the last bit here. So I think you've got 2 weeks at least to organize that.
Great.
Would you like to have us schedule your public hearing for June 27th? Will that provide sufficient time for this to work to happen?
Yes, we'd like to proceed with that, yes.
Okay. All right, excellent. Well, we will plan to see you then, and yeah, keep us informed of how things are going on the disabilities, the accessibility concerns here.
Great. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. And with that, we have very quickly reached the end of our agenda for today. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody.